Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's video of our new current affairs series. In this series, we take up a particular topic and discuss it thoroughly. This will help you in your prelims as well as mains preparation. So, for today's video, our topic of discussion is global supply chains. Now, global supply chain ka topic is important as in the recently concluded G20 summit, India has been pushing for the India Middle East European Union economic corridor, and this will help India to secure a place in the global supply chain. तो फिर प्रश्न ये उठता है कि ये ग्लोबल सप्लाई चेन्स है क्या? सप्लाई चेन्स को ग्लोबल प्रोडक्शन नेटवर्क्स या ग्लोबल वैल्यू चेन्स या प्रोडक्शन फ्रैगमेंटेशन के नाम से भी जाना जाता है. Supply chain basically refers to the geographical location of various stages of production. यानी एक commodity को designing, production assembly, marketing and service activities जहाँ भी होता है वो सब areas को supply chains कहा जाता है. Take a good look at this slide. This basically shows how a supply chain, an international supply chain works. Basically, this is the format of how any supply chain works. The idea of supply chain is that there are companies, people, basically individuals and firms who are involved in the production and ultimate delivery of a product or services. उसके अंदर एक supply chain के अंदर बहुत सारे producers हो सकते हैं, vendors हो सकते हैं, उसमें storage के लिए facilities such as warehouses, फिर logistics के लिए transportation companies, distribution centers, etc. भी हो सकते हैं. So these all have to effectively manage in order to create a product and ultimately sell the product. So that is how an effective supply chain management occurs, जिसमें lower cost में fast production cycle create हो सकते हैं. So as you can see in this chart that there are three main stakeholders in this particular supply chain. That is the suppliers, that is the manufacturers, producers, and then you have a corporation who is the middleman who ultimately sells it to the customers who are the end users. So these three are the important actors in this entire supply chain. अब इसके अंडर भी बहुत सारे सब एक्टर्स हो सकते हैं, बहुत सारे सब processes involve होते हैं. As you can see from here that you have this order processing, material management, distribution management. फिर logistic के लिए you have transportation, storage, and ultimately for the customers you have customer service, etc. So basically supply chain is the culmination of this network of all the individuals, then organizations, your firms, your corporations, then the resources, that is the raw materials, the technology that is involved in creating such a product or service. And the aim of it is ultimately to produce such a product or service and then deliver it to the end users, your customers. So, for a long time now, China has been at the helm of such global supply chains, और चाइना को एक मेजर प्रोडक्शन हब से भी जाना जाता है. After USA transferred the knowledge of technology or the know-how of several products, and after several Western companies set up their factories in China because of several reasons, such as low cost labor, fair tax incentives that were given by the government. Then the Chinese government had also provided several facilities for the ease in doing business, etc. So, due to all these factors, several companies set up their factories, their workshop in China. So, due to all these reasons, including the interest shown by the MNCs as well as the tax holidays and the other benefits that were given by the Chinese government, China basically prospered as a production hub. However, post COVID-19, due to certain internal risks and as well as China's trade war with USA, several multinational companies were forced to rethink their global sourcing strategies. Now, आप लोग जानते ही हैं बहुत ज़्यादातर goods in the market वो दिखाते हैं made in China tag. Most of the clothes you wear or shoes you use, they all have this, most of them have this made in China tag. China basically creates these cheap products which it dumps in other countries for a very low price. जिसके लिए आप देखेंगे आपके कोई भी मार्केट में जाएंगे तो चाइनीज़ गुड्स आर फ्लडिंग द मार्केट. Due to these reasons, USA had imposed higher tariffs on the goods that were coming from China. This was done in order to reduce the deficit of bilateral trade and also to prevent Chinese companies from accessing American technology. फिर ये चीज़ भी देखा गया है that post COVID-19, even when most of the nations had removed the restrictions, Chinese government had still put on the lockdowns, yeah, curb, whatever, because of the number of COVID cases that were happening. Due to that, most of the manufacturing centers, yeah, workshops were kept closed. इससे supply chain में बहुत disruptions हुए. Due to this, most of the nations realized how dependent they were on China for their manufacturing needs. तो ये डिपेंडेंस बहुत ही प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट किया एज सच लॉकडाउन्स एंड रिस्ट्रिक्शंस हैड सिवियरली डिसरप्टेड द ग्लोबल सप्लाई चेन. तो दिस लेड टू द कंपनीज रीथिंकिंग their strategies as they realized that they could no longer solely rely on China for their manufacturing needs. एक नया सप्लाई चेन ढूंढने के लिए बहुत कॉस्ट इनकर करना पड़ता है. एज न्यू प्लांट्स नीड टू बी सेट अप, वर्कर्स नीड टू बी हायर्ड एंड ट्रेन्ड, more capital needs to be secured, etc. However, with this COVID-19 issue and the disruptions in supply chain as well as China's internal politics led to MNCs reconsidering their strategies, as I've mentioned. This led to the adoption of China plus one strategies. Take a look at these news cuttings. Basically, post COVID-19 and all these issues, what most of the MNCs have been reconsidering is the adoption of China plus one strategy. तो ये China plus one strategy है क्या? Basically ये कहता है that since setting up a new plant incurs a lot of cost, therefore it would not be sensible or practical to uproot whatever investments in terms of factories, training and hiring and training workers, etc. or technology transfer. ये जो investments किए ये MNCs, अगर ये सब चाइना से उठा ले, then these companies will incur huge amount of loss. So instead of simply uprooting their business from China, what they are saying is that China should not be the only manufacturing hub. Instead, they will identify other countries where they can get the benefits of investing and setting up their business. इससे फ़ायदा ये होगा that चाइना में जैसे बिजनेस चल रहा है वो तो चलेगा ही. That way, the companies will not incur loss by simply stopping their business in China. Instead, they will invest in creating such hub in some other country. तो फिर इसका बेनिफिट ये होगा कि अगर किसी भी तरह या तो फिर कोई भी कारण के लिए चाइना में मैन्युफैक्चरिंग या प्रोडक्शन डिसरप्ट हो जाते हैं, वो दूसरा कंट्री विल मेक अप फॉर इट. इट ऑल्सो वर्क्स वाइस वर्सा. तो अगर कोई भी डिसरप्शन हो किसी भी कंट्री में, द अदर कंट्री विल डेफिनेटली मेक अप फॉर इट. इससे देयर विल बी नो डिसरप्शन एज सच इन द ग्लोबल सप्लाई चेन. So these multinational companies have identified several countries जहाँ पे they can get the same benefit as they had while investing in China. So India happens to be one of those countries. Along with India, you have nations like Vietnam, Thailand, South Korea, Japan, etc. जहाँ पे manufacturing plants set up किया जा सकता है. So India, in order to become an attractive manufacturing hub, has to ensure cheap wages, provide fiscal incentives and improve logistics. आपको शायद याद होगा that in order to improve production and manufacturing in country, we have several schemes and initiatives that have been introduced by the government. एक है Make in India initiative to ensure that India becomes Atmanirbhar. Then we have the Industrial Corridor Development Program, then National Single Window System, फिर PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan, National Logistics Policy, importantly the Production and Design Linked Incentive Scheme. ऐसे schemes and initiatives, all these benefits will ensure that India में ease of doing business establish हो सके और बहुत सारे MNCs आके invest करें इंडिया में in order to make it a manufacturing hub. इसी कारण से वियतनाम और थाईलैंड जैसे कंट्रीज न्यू एशियन हब्स बन रहे हैं who are reaping the benefits from foreign technology transfer and creating value adding jobs because they've already implemented such tax benefits and fiscal incentives. They have improved their logistics, they are providing cheap cost labor, etc. India is already seeing some of the benefits of such schemes and initiatives. Some of the examples of manufacturing under the Make in India scheme have been the iPhone 14, Mercedes Benz EQS, and the upcoming Foxconn Technology Group's plan to set up chip fabrication plant in Gujarat, etc. This brings us to the end of our video. We hope that you found this video informative. If you found this helpful, do like, share, and subscribe Exact IS on YouTube and follow us on Instagram. I will see you in our next video. Thank you for watching this one.